So welcome to Empowered Elite's first team call of 2016. It is January 6th. Taryn's team is on tonight, Stronger Every Day as well. Happy to have you guys on. I don't want to go too in-depth since it's not just my team, but I have to give a huge congratulations to Empowered Elite because we are officially an elite team. And I am stoked. I am just mind blown at what we've achieved in 2015. So with that said, does anybody have any recognition? And Taryn, if anybody on your team, you're welcome to shout it out too. Does anybody have any recognition from last week that they want to shout out before we get started? I don't think we do. Do you, Taryn? No?
You guys are awesome for hitting elite, by the way.
What's that?
You guys are awesome for hitting elite, by the way. That's fantastic.
Hey, it was a tough run, but we pulled it off. It's amazing. Okay, so tonight Brad and I kind of got together this afternoon and decided we wanted to start the year off really strong. Just get you super amped up about what's possible for you in 2016. So I want to introduce Brad to you. He has been a coach since February of 2013, going into this will be your third year or your fourth year? It'll be going into your fourth, right? He's a Success Club 10 All-Star legend, meaning he has hit Success Club 10 every single month for at least the past 24 months. He is currently a 5-star diamond coach, and his team is a premier team this year. So huge congratulations to you and your team. And you are 7-star qualifying, correct?
Maybe one more week, but just about.
So I'm not going to go too much into detail. I want Brad to share his story for you, and he just always has such awesome stuff to share that I'm just going to let you take it away, Brad.
Sounds good. I just found this cottage cheese thing sitting in my desk. So I just wanted to make that really awkward for a second and throw that away. So anyways, let me get started. Just because of the information that I want to share with you guys tonight, I really want to add a lot of value. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on my story. You'll kind of get to know some parts of my story as I kind of go through some of the failures that I've experienced along the way. And you'll kind of get to know bits and pieces of it. But anyways, let me get out my notes real quick. Those are not my notes. Those are my notes. And I'm really pumped. So it's a privilege to be speaking on this team call tonight. Seriously, I'm incredibly proud of you guys for hitting elite this year. That is absolutely amazing, and something you guys should seriously, and not that, just so you guys know, that is not Dana's accomplishment. That is your entire team's accomplishment. So take that and run with it and say it with pride that you guys are part of an elite team. And just imagine how much that's going to help your recruiting efforts when you're recruiting to an elite team in 2016 with an elite training and an elite coach leading from the front. Guys, that's going to help so much. So don't feel for any reason that your name doesn't say elite coach on it, that you can't take that and use it for the entire year. You absolutely can, and I want you guys to do that. So hopefully you guys find this valuable. I am going to try to add as much value as I possibly can. And newer coaches, if you guys haven't met me before, I am extremely high energy, and I'm probably I'm not going to scare you away, but I'm very passionate about things, and I'm just going to be very real and straight up about things with this business. So I appreciate the introduction, and it was, Dana, it's really nice of you to go through all of those things and kind of share my accolades and things our team has achieved along the way. But I want to start off by kind of bringing things back to being more relatable. And everything that Dana just mentioned, she did not mention any of the failure that I went through to get to those things. And I remember when I was a brand new coach, and I would see all these top leaders, and they have these incredible accomplishments, and they were being recognized for so many different things. And I was like, how the hell do they do that? That is insane. And over the course of time, as I grew my business, I started to realize exactly why they got to where they are. And it's something that holds a lot of people back. So the only reason why I am where I am today, or Dana is where she is, or Liz, or Annalisa, or Keith Callahan, or Bob Lucido, or Lindsay Matway, or any of these coaches are where they are is because they probably just failed the most at what they do. They have probably just epically failed at what they do. They're professional failures. So your leader right now, Dana, is the biggest failure on your team. Dana, you're a failure. She's the biggest failure on your team. So if you don't believe that and you're not willing to fail, then you're not willing to build a Beachbody business. And that is so incredibly true. And if you don't believe that, you have to dive into personal growth like crazy and shove your nose in a book. And if you grow yourself more than you focus on growing your business will explode. Just write that down. Focus on growing yourself more than you focus on growing your business, and your business will explode. So what I want to do to bring this kind of back down to help me become a little bit more relatable is to share some of the struggles that I've kind of gone through in the last going on 36 months of coaching. Holy crap, 36 months of coaching to show you guys how failure is really the only way that you can achieve success in this. So I have a list here. Let me pull it out. Okay, cool. So my first 3.5 months, I had to call in favors to hit Success Club. Don't tell my coach that. There were Facebook groups that were started to make fun of me when I first started out as a coach, and I was defriended by 400 people in the first couple months because I didn't know how to use social media, and all I did was spam. If you guys scroll left instead of right on my pictures, you would have not wanted to be around me when I started out as a coach. I used to let Beachbody come in the way of my relationships, and I used to kind of get in the way of my time with Janice. My first 6 months, I had no idea how to run a challenge group. So if you guys have ever been in that situation where you have tried to run a challenge group and it's epically failed and you are the only person participating in that challenge group and you're really excited about it, that was my first 6 months of this business. I advertised a Fit Club to over 500 people for 6 weeks in a row, and the most people that ever showed up were 3, and most of the time it was 1, and that was Janice because I made her go. The first 2 years of my business, I did not build a duplicatable business. I hid behind recognition as a way to compensate for my business that wasn't building. So I relied solely on retail. I did not have a successful Beachbody business. Literally my first 2 years. Was very hard for me to admit when I first started talking about this, but my face was very well known because I was part of a test group for 21 Day Fix, and Autumn Calabrese is one of my good friends, and I milked that for all it's worth. And I would sell a shit ton of challenge packs. I think 1 month I hit Success Club 96, and I had this Beachbody, I guess, people knew who I was basically. But when I found myself in circles of leaders and people that I wanted to be like, my business was peanuts compared to them. And it was that way for 2 years. But I hid behind that wall of recognition to compensate for the business that wasn't building. And it took me a long time in personal growth to realize that this business is not about me. It's about the people that I help. So don't go chasing recognition. Help your team get recognized. When I got back from Summit, and the leaders, there were some diamond coaches on my team that completely disliked the team environment we have. This is back in 2014, not this past year, but back in 2014, I got back from Summit, and some of the diamond coaches said they didn't feel a sense of culture. They didn't like the way I led the team, and they quit. So we went from 3-star qualifying down to diamond. One of my biggest failures of all time was the mentality of how I should work with my coaches. I was spending time convincing my coaches to do this, people that didn't want to be there. And I took my time off of recruiting. This past year, I waited to start focusing on elite until August. Guys, I'm going to be very real with you right now. And again, just because I'm the type of person that's very recognition driven, I love being on stage and I love people knowing who I am. That's just what motivates me. I was a diamond coach 4 months ago. Diamond coach 4 months ago in August. After Summit, my business dropped from 3-star qualifying again for the 3rd time back to diamond. And I was like, all right, F this, enough is enough. I'm doing something to change it. And I went to Summit, and Summit lit a fire under my ass and helped me realize that this is about my team, not about me. And in the last 4 months, we've grown to become an almost 7-star diamond qualifying team, which is a great accomplishment. I'm very proud of that. But I waited to start focusing on hitting elite until August. And our team came up 2 points short of hitting elite. We had 133 elite points. So we did hit Premier, and that's amazing, but that's one of my failures along the way. So if you're focusing on elite, start now. Don't wait. It is possible for any coach on this team, on this call right now, to hit elite. I don't care if you signed up earlier this morning. There is no reason why you can't do it. So all that stuff, let me get into the meat of this. All that stuff sounded pretty harsh, right? It sounded kind of, holy crap, that's brutal. And Brady kind of talked about it for a little bit of time there. But the reality is I'm excited about those things. I'm beyond excited that I didn't hit elite. And the reason for that is because you can't succeed without failing. You can't find any lessons without failing. Failure is literally a way to start again more intelligently. It just means that you're going to figure out the right shit faster. Can I swear on this call? Yes? Are there kids? I won't do it.
There is.
I won't swear on this call. Okay. So anyways, it's a way to figure out the right ways to succeed faster. That's all failure is. It's a fact. And like I said, if you're not willing to fail, you're not willing to build a Beachbody business. Dana fails all the time. So when you fail, it's a good thing. Okay. It just means you're going to succeed faster. And I wish I had time to go through finding your purpose and your real why, not the one that we tell our coaches when we sign up that we think they want to hear. But I'm talking about the one that is deep and real and passionate and vulnerable and emotional. That the reason why you're actually on this call, the feeling attached to what would happen if you would succeed at this business. And the reason why you're here right now instead of watching Netflix, because when you find that purpose, you will want to implement the things that I'm going to teach you tonight as a skill set, and you won't lose motivation. Those failures then turn into good things when you have a deep enough purpose. So write this down. When your purpose is deep enough, taking action becomes second nature. There's a metaphor I want you guys to hear, and I always talk about this on team calls. I want you to imagine a compass, okay? And your purpose is your compass, your sense of inner guidance, okay? And so you're sailing on a boat, and you have this compass, right? So when a storm comes, and there's clouds over the sky, so you can't be guided by the stars, and there's waves that are 50 feet tall in every single direction, you can still grab the wheel and steer the boat regardless of what you see, because you know where you're going. You have that sense of purpose. And in the meantime, all those people that set out without a purpose or without a compass are either crashing against the rocks or they're scrambling in a panic trying to figure out where the heck they are, right? So I wish I had time to go into that. And I know my purpose. I know my deep purpose in detail. But the question I want to ask you guys is, do you know yours? And if you don't, why not? Why haven't you taken the time to do that? If you're having trouble with that, work with your upline, work with your coach, but don't do what I did and wait 2 years before finding this. Why don't people do it? 1, because it takes time. 2, because it's going places in your life that I'm sure a lot of people don't want to go. And it's non-conforming. Most people don't do it. But if you want to be and feel successful, do the opposite of what most people do. Most coaches that are in Team Beachbody, out of 400,000 coaches, most of them are not successful, okay? That's just a fact. So if you want to do and be successful, if you want to be successful and feel successful, that doesn't make sense, then do what the successful coaches do. And every successful coach knows their purpose. It's scary, I know that. And I remember those feelings of having just the exact same fear and being terrified. And I didn't know how sharing those failures would go on calls like this. But that fear is that thing that stops us from pursuing our dreams, right? It's that thing that makes us think twice before we even consider trying to do this. So guys, my success partner, Colleen Curtis, we talk all the time. She is someone that you need to follow. She always talks about this. Everything you ever want in life will always be on the other side of fear. And the only thing that is holding you back from attacking that is what's going on in your noggin. Okay, so I challenge you to attack this business in a different way than most people do, right? Successful people are always optimistic, regardless of the circumstance. So instead of asking yourself, what if you fail? Because trust me, you are going to fail in this business more than you most likely have failed at anything else in your entire life. So instead of asking yourself, what if you fail? Ask yourself, what if I succeed? What if that purpose is fulfilled? What if I can retire my husband? What if I can travel without having to worry? What if I can take my kids to Disney World without having to worry about going into credit card debt? What if I can change the lives of thousands of people and give them the same gift that's happened to my body and my health? What if I can give my future kids or my current kids the life they deserve? What if I succeed? That's your new mentality coming out of this call and what you're going to do to propel you throughout all of 2016. There's a reason, guys, why the majority of people won't even consider doing what we do as coaches, and it's because they're afraid. You are not most people. You are an entrepreneur. You are special. You are enough, and you are a freaking Beachbody coach that is going to change so many lives along the way. Take pride in that, because whatever you're facing in your life, your circumstance, your adversity, that's what you lead with. That's your advantage. Take pride in the fact that you are really freaking weird. You're different. You're not like most people. There's so much social identity behind what we do, right? School teacher, fireman, stay-at-home mom, engineer, banking, all fantastic careers. And I applaud people that do that. And we say those things with pride because it's what most people do also. Most people are in similar positions, but not most people are coaches. And when it comes time to stand up and say, I am a Beachbody coach and I help people change their lives, people always cower and they hide. Please accept right now and throughout this entire year that helping people is really cool and it's a good thing. It is a good thing. And that inner strength to say that is stronger than 98% of people out there. And that's why you're here on this call right now instead of going and doing something else. You want this. You joined an industry that's going to be the cause of a lot of envy. Embrace that, because right now you're doing what most people won't, so you can live a life that most people can't. That adversity is your advantage. Use it to drive you, and trust that the inner strength to say that is stronger than any excuse you could make. So we now know the purpose of going into purpose, right? Talking about our purpose, that compass. I want to integrate that and show you guys how it plays a vital role in this business, because we need purpose if we're going to want to implement this. So how many of you guys have ever lost motivation in any way? Lost motivation. Everyone's hand should be up right now. Or maybe how many of you guys didn't even want to be on this call tonight? Be honest. Anyone not want to be here? Other stuff to do? Crazy busy? I love your honesty. That's good. How many of you guys feel that you maybe go strong for 2 to 3 weeks, then you kind of trickle off in your fitness and your business, then you have to re-get motivated again and start all over, and it's like overwhelming to start, but you know you got to do it. And that's like a continuous cycle that happens like that. Anyone? Raise your hand if that's you. Cool. So that's normal, right? That's normal. That's not a bad thing. But the reason that happens is because you've never done what it takes to earn momentum. You guys know the activities, but until you have defined your purpose, the drive to hit those goals isn't there. So the action we take on the activities to achieve them is so much smaller. So step one, the reason I brought all that stuff up is step one, define your purpose in detail. And step two is get your butt to work consistently and understand that this is a delayed gratification business. Dana's been a coach for 2 years at the end of this month, and her business is just starting to explode. 2 years, okay? So question, here's this one's from the compound effect. If I were to give you $3 million cash right now in one check, or give you a penny that doubled in value every day for 31 days, what would you pick? What would you guys pick? Most people would pick the $3 million, right? Most people pick wrong, though. They don't pick the way that gives them the compound effect, the momentum. This business works the same way. Day 1, you have 1 cent. Day 5, you have 16 cents. Do the math. It's right. Day 10, you have $5.10. Day 20, it keeps multiplying. You only have $5,243. That doesn't feel too good against $3 million, especially when you only have 1/3 of the month left. But by day 31, you have $10.7 million. So what would you prefer, 3 or 11 million? What would you guys prefer? It's the consistency for a long time that you want to achieve if you want this to happen. And you have to believe that will happen before it does. So ask yourself this question: what's better, brushing your teeth every single day for 5 minutes, once in the morning and once at night, or brushing your teeth for 2 hours once on Sunday? Consistency in brushing your teeth prevents cavities, and your dentist will tell you that, right? This business, here's another metaphor, and I love this one. This one's probably my favorite. This business is like pushing a boulder up a hill, and the objective is trying to get that boulder up to the other side and get it to roll down. And so many people push this boulder as hard as they can, and they get a quarter of the way up, and they're like, holy crap, is this ever going to happen? And they stop, and the boulder rolls back down the hill, and it rolls further than the starting point because it has momentum on the way down. Then they get remotivated. If this is the coach that goes 3 weeks on and takes a week off, this is you right now. And then they find a way to get remotivated, and they're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go for it. And they push the boulder from that further back point, and they push it until they reach that quarter way point again. And they're like, okay, this is ridiculous. Why is this not happening? They stop. They worked even harder to get to the same exact spot, and they let go, and the boulder rolls back down the hill. And then finally, they have a great call with their coach. They hop on a call like this, and they get motivated, and they push that boulder halfway up the hill, and they push further than they ever have before, and they quit because this business doesn't work. They're convinced this business doesn't work. No. It's not the business that doesn't work. It's you that doesn't work the business. If you would have pushed that boulder a quarter of the way plus a quarter of the way plus halfway, what would happen? You would have made it to the top of that hill, and the boulder would have rolled down the other side, and you'd be chasing after it, trying to catch up, because your business is going to grow away from you, and you won't even know how to catch up. You're going to feel amazing coming out of it when you stay consistent. Okay, and you're not going to have to put nearly as much effort to get to the other side. In fact, it's going to go faster than you can keep up with. But the problem is that most people quit before the miracle happens. Most people give up. Most people don't stay consistent, when if they just would have stayed with it a little bit longer, this would have worked for them. Then they blame their upline, and they blame the business, and they say this doesn't work. No, it works. This business works for everyone. Everyone has the same products, the same compensation plan. It's the person that doesn't work it for a consistent long time. So how long do you have to work this, you might ask? Bare minimum of a year if you want to start gaining traction. Bare minimum of a year if you have to start gaining traction. And once you do that, you'll understand why you never want to give up. You have to be willing to work with complete faith in the unknown, with passion behind a dream, and purpose at your back if you want this to change the course of your family's life. The coach that always has to play catch up or get refocused or loses sight of their purpose is the coach that won't do what it takes to gain momentum, and they won't be able to build this into something special. So stop stopping. Would P90X work if you did 1 week on and 1 week off? No, it wouldn't. Would 21-day fix work if you followed the nutrition plan for 21 days and then did whatever you want for 21 days, even if you did the workouts? No, it wouldn't. Consistency is everything with this business, and I think it's a great topic tonight to propel you through 2016. Last metaphor, you're pumping a well, and this one's from the compound effect also, but think about how this relates to our business. These are the wells out in the country, right, that you got a hand pump, and you're pumping and you're pumping and you're pumping, and you are so freaking thirsty, and you want water so bad. You're in the middle of the desert, and you start pumping. And I want you to ask yourself, what type of well pumper are you? Person number one, coach number one, you think this could happen. So you pump as hard as you can. You're starting out, you're excited, but nothing's happening. So you stop and you blame the freaking world about the problems that you have and the circumstances in your life, and then you go back to where you were, thinking that this should have happened by now. And you give up on a dream, and you stop pumping that well. And then there's person number two. This is coach number two. They think this coach believes not only could, but should happen. And there's some hope there. They keep pumping, and they keep pumping, and they keep pumping. And they think they should have water coming out of the well, and they keep going, and they see those people walk away from the pump, and a little bit of water comes out, just starts trickling out a little bit, but it's not super strong. It's just a little trickle of water. And the coach says, screw this, and quits pumping the well and walks away. And then there's coach number three, your Danas, okay? Those are the coaches that believe that this will happen and keep pumping that well no matter what. They go through the beginning. They push through it. When they see no water come out, they keep going. They see that little trickle of water, and they know they're onto something. They see all these people telling them this is stupid and a dumb idea, but they keep persisting anyways and stay consistent. And they fight through the pain, and their arm is burning, and they never give up, and eventually they get an endless stream of water. And guess what? When that happens, all you have to do is pump that well once every 10 seconds to keep the same stream. So where are you on that belief bridge? Do you think it could? Do you think it should, or do you think it will happen? Where are you on that bridge? Because unless you have this absolutely must and will happen, you will never get to the point where you've earned momentum. You need to have all three. Consistency is everything in this business. And without it, you won't go anywhere, and you will stay in the same place. Nothing will change, no impact, no financial success, the same exact spot. But if you're consistent, your entire universe will change. So don't quit before the miracle happens. There's an inverse relationship in this business between time and success. It's like this. In the beginning, you're putting in a ton of time for not that much success. But over the course of time, if you stay consistent, you're not going to have to put in as much time for way more success. And most people don't understand that, and most people quit. So how does this actually relate to the vital behaviors? In the beginning, people are what? They're going to think it's a fad. Good for them. I could never do that. That will never work. So think about this relation in relation to your personal development and your personal growth. In the beginning, you might think it's a waste of time. And that leaks off onto people that you're trying to help. When your coach is telling you to do personal development and read a book, you're like, no. That's at least what I said. I was like, I don't need to read a book. And something in you says, okay, I'm going to pick up that book and I'm going to just be coachable and I'm going to do it. And you pick up that book for a few months and you don't give up. And all of a sudden, you find yourself waking up happier. You find yourself a little bit more motivated. You want to do your workouts. You want to drink your Shakeology. You want to talk with more people. You have a better outlook on life. So you keep doing it and you keep picking up that book. And now it's been 9 months to a year and your entire outlook on life has changed. You believe in people before they believe in themselves. You radiate energy. You feel this right now? You feel this call, this energy on this call? You start feeling that way every single day when you pop out of bed. You believe in yourself. You know that it's going to happen. And all of a sudden, people are attracted to you instead of you having to do all that work to go get them. They're attracted to you. What about your workouts in Shakeology? You start out in the beginning, right? And it hurts. And the taste of Shakeology is weird. And you're pooping sideways for a couple of days. And you're wondering if this is ever going to get better. And it hurts and it burns. But you stay consistent for a couple months and you start to notice that you're more regular. You're pooping more normal. You have more energy. You feel more excited to work out. You're not as sore anymore. That's funny. Sorry. You lost a couple of pounds and you really start to want this. And you keep going because you feel better about it. And sorry, that just cracked me up. Anyway, so you decide to keep pushing and you decide to stay consistent in your workouts and you never give up and you feel freaking amazing and you can't help but share that with people. Your entire outlook on life changes. You've lost weight and people are asking you what you're doing instead of you having to go tell people what you're doing. You can't believe you feel that good and you want to keep going. And then you apply that to your invites. So you start out and people think that you're just going through a fad. You know, they don't believe this really works and they don't know if it's something that you're going to stick with. And because they don't see it from you consistently, they say no. You know, they don't see that belief from your end yet, but you stay consistent because you're coachable. You stick with this and you never stop. You started a couple people up, you've gotten a success club once or twice, and you're starting to share their success stories and you keep inviting people. And you keep following up with those no's, those people that rejected you in the beginning. And you get a couple people, but it's still hard. But you keep pushing and you never give up. And you've gotten better. Your skills have improved. Your mindset's improved. And those people that are now ready to make the change know that you're still there and they can count on you and that you're the go-to. And you go back to those people that said no, and they're like, man, this girl's still going. She's still pushing. I want to be part of this. And all of a sudden, all of those no's around the same time start coming around and turning into yeses. Oh, this is really working for them. Okay, I'll do it. What about your social media? In the beginning, it's terrifying, right, to post in the beginning. Everyone thinks, it's a phase. They're just selling something. You probably suck at posting in the beginning. Everyone does. And you just want people to join your challenge group, right? But you keep getting better. And you keep learning how to do it. And you keep sharing about your story and not about the product. And you keep sharing your vulnerabilities. And you start opening up about who you are. And maybe at some point people will follow you, but they're still convinced that you're going to give up at this. But you don't stop and you stay consistent. You barely get any likes or any comments for a year. But you keep going. And you start sharing how your life is changing and how other people's lives around you are changing. And people know to check your page to see if you have any challenge groups going because you've been consistent in sharing them. And then they can't help but message you to be a part of it. So what happens when all of this is blended together? What would happen if you made the choice to stay consistent and make up your mind right now to become the happiest, best person that you can be through personal growth? You follow your nutrition and you follow your workouts and drink your shake because it's your job to do that. And you feel the best you've ever felt. You keep doing your invites and you get better at them and you understand how they work, and people find you predictable on social media and that they can go to you. That energy from your mindset improving and your health improving radiates out into the world, and all of those no's in the last year start to see that you're for real and that you're ready to make a change. People see that you're real on social media and that you never quit, and all of a sudden, bam, people start messaging you like crazy. You start to gain followers, and all the thing that has happened. And throughout this entire thing as it's happening, Success Club starts to become easy. Success Club 10 starts to become easy. And the only thing that you did is you just didn't stop. That's all you did. You just didn't stop. You stayed consistent through all of it. The secret to this business that everyone is looking for is to spend your time being consistent in the vital behaviors. Matt Way will tell you the same exact thing. Melanie Mitra will tell you the same exact thing. Keep pushing that boulder up the hill. Keep pumping that well. Keep brushing your teeth. And if you never stop, this will happen. You forget about that lottery ticket and that instant gratification, right? That goes away. You've developed the habits of success. You've activated the compound effect, and you've earned momentum. And momentum is a leader's best friend. Oh, it's awesome. It's the best thing in the world. Momentum is that thing that it makes the huge difference in your business. It's a deal breaker between winning and losing. When you have no momentum, even the smallest things seem freaking impossible. These small, little, insignificant things become massive setbacks, and the future is scary. And an organization without momentum is like this is a metaphor from 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. An organization without momentum is like a train stopped on the tracks. You have that little piece of wood in front of the wheel, and even if your engine's going, you're not going anywhere. The wheel's not going to go through it. But when you have momentum, you guys will see what's happening. People will come to you. You start multiplying instead of just staying stagnant, and obstacles don't seem like anything. An organization with momentum is the same metaphor, like a train moving down the tracks at 60 miles an hour. It can slam through concrete going that fast, and it will just ram right through it. You are unstoppable with momentum. It's a magnifying glass. John Maxwell calls it the great exaggerator, because you seem better than you really are. You think about basketball games, when a team's on a 10-0 run, why does the opposing coach call a timeout? To stop momentum. Everything works when you have momentum. So momentum makes you, like I said, momentum makes you look like a leader better than you really are. Your team is going to start thinking you're genius, which is awesome. And then you'll start to be able to help your new teammates perform better and believe in themselves. And it will grow so much faster than an organization that was in a lull. But you have to earn it. And it's so much easier to steer momentum than to start it. It is hard to gain momentum. It is not easy. That same train we talked about, when you're first chugging along, you're firing up the engine, right? As hard as you possibly can, with as much coal as you possibly can, and the wheels are barely going, right? They're barely going. But you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep the wheels moving. And finally, they're going to keep moving, and then they're going as fast as they possibly can, and you don't have to put in nearly as much coal, right? Without a doubt, when you have consistency, that will happen. You have to have vision, and it is not, this is something big. It is not Dana's responsibility to do this for you. That is a huge mistake. It is not her job to gain your momentum. It is your job to gain your momentum. Eleanor Doan, great quote. You cannot kindle a fire in any other heart until it's burning within your own. Okay? So you need to have that purpose and that message. That's the power of momentum, and that's what you'll earn, not get. You'll earn when you have the discipline to define your purpose and stay consistent when things get tough. So where is your activity level? Think about that. What are you doing in your business? What are you spending the most time on? Focus on the vital behaviors 100% of the time. And if you do that, your business will grow, okay? I've done it consistently for 3 years. I started doing it the right way for just the past year, and I've earned momentum. Your secret to success is consistency and through vital behaviors. So this is kind of the closing part of the conversation where we really find out, and I'm going to call some excuses out right now. We're going to switch out of consistency and go into excuses. Let me get a sip of water because I get a little intense here. So this is the part of the call where we really find the coaches that want to change in their life more than they want to stay the same. And that was me. When I made that switch, it was in March of this past year at the Men's Leadership Retreat, and then even more again after Summit. It didn't really start happening until August. But guys, everyone grows at different rates. So before I go into this, Don't spend your time worrying about comparing yourself to how others are doing. Dana started a year after me, and she's an elite coach and I'm a premier coach. Does that mean that I'm not a good leader? No, it doesn't mean I'm not a good leader. Bonnie Engel, Brittany Leggett, friends of mine. Bonnie started in May after me, and her business is 20 times the size of mine. That doesn't mean that I can't lead. That doesn't mean I'm stopping because they passed me up. So stop comparing yourself to other people. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it takes the fun out of what we do. Stop looking at someone else's highlight reel and comparing it to your behind the scenes. Some people might sign up and turn diamond in 2 days. Someone might sign up and turn diamond in a month. Sometimes it takes them 2 years before things start clicking. That does not mean they can't coach. Never compare yourself to other people. Be happy for them and use their story as inspiration every single day. Look at Leslie Cordes. She's a superstar diamond coach. It took her 6 months to get to emerald. It took her a year to hit diamond, and then another 6 months to hit 2-star, and 2 years. It took her 2 years before things really started clicking. And now she's 5 years into this business. She's at just about the $1 million per year range, and she's a superstar diamond coach. Guys, rank does not equal leader. Influence equals leader, and you all have the ability to motivate and inspire someone to be better than they were yesterday, and that has nothing to do with the rank attached to your Team Beachbody online office. If it did, why would I be on this call if I'm only a premier coach and Dana's an elite coach? Why would I be guest speaking here if rank, and Beachbody rank meant something? It doesn't mean that for you either. And remember that feeling of being a new coach, and you almost feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose with all this information. There's so much coming at you from all angles, and you're trying to balance a family life and a full-time or overtime job and kids and fun, and it's scary to take the lead, guys. But I can promise you that if you stay consistent and take the lead starting right now, you're going to be so thankful that you did. So I want to go into some of those things that hold a lot of coaches back, some of these excuses, and we're going to knock them out at the beginning of 2016 so you cannot use them the rest of the year. So ask yourself these questions as we go through this. How many of you guys have ever been afraid of what people might think of you? Anyone? That's a big one, right? I've been afraid of that too. But guess what, guys? When you focus on what people think of you, you take the focus off of helping other people and you put it completely back onto yourself. You are not doing your job as a Beachbody coach. It's fueling your ego. And here's the kicker. People aren't thinking about you. That's the hard thing to understand. It sounds funny, but it's very true. People aren't thinking about you. When you saw Dana's story posted on social media, you weren't thinking of Dana. You were thinking of how would my life look if I had that, right? We're selfish beings. So people aren't thinking about you when you're sharing vulnerably. They're thinking about themselves. So if you aren't sharing vulnerably, then you aren't going to attract people. So stop being scared of what people are going to think of you and using that as an excuse because they're not thinking about you and it's not doing our job. And we talked about failure, so I don't need to go into that one. But how many of you guys maybe feel that you don't know enough people to be successful at this? Anyone? That's a huge one, and it's not true, and it is a lie to yourself. You are lying to yourself, and you need to accept that right now. The bottom line, guys, is you don't know who needs us. You don't know if that woman on the park bench has high cholesterol. You don't know if that dude on the train has diabetes. You don't know their history. You don't know their pain. You don't know how you could have impacted their life. So ask yourself this question. Think about how these products have impacted your life in some way. You don't have to answer it, but think about it. Ask yourself, do you think there are other people out there in this world struggling with the same thing that you struggled with before you started a product or did this business? Now imagine that these products and this business were completely taken away from you. Uncle Carl called you up and said, sorry, no more coaching, no more 21-day fix, no more Shakeology, no more, you are done. How would you guys feel? Think about that. If this business was taken away, I would be devastated. This is one of the biggest passions in my life. I would be devastated. And because I feel that way, that proves to me that we don't have the right not to share this with people if it's changed our life that much. You don't know who needs us. So, and right now, that story, whatever it is enough to change lives. So all of a sudden, your prospect list of 200 Facebook friends or less just turned into 200 million people that are overweight or obese and need your help. Not even including those that are struggling financially, 98% of this country. So we don't have the right not to share this with every single person in this world. If you struggle with that excuse, understand that every single person in this world is a prospect if you have the courage to share your story, and that is something that you control. It is not a matter of your circumstance. You control it. The next one is, how many of you guys have been afraid to attack this business because you don't know how you're going to be able to do it with your full-time or overtime job? Anyone? Oh man, I'm about to bust this one. I've rationalized that as a great reason why I can't be successful in the past too. Okay. And I remember that feeling of being terrified that I wasn't going to be able to grow this business because I was working so many hours at my full-time job. And I want to call out right now, that is the most illegitimate excuse out there. It is not real. That is a lie. Complete lie. If you want something you've never had, you're going to have to do something you've never done. That was me. I had to do something I never did before. For the first year of this business, I was working 16-hour days, 6 days a week with a long-distance girlfriend 1,000 miles away and no money to my name. I know what it's like to work long hours and be able to make those excuses. I worked 80-hour weeks, guys, for the first third of my coaching career. You can't tell me for 1 second that you don't have time. You do have time. You have limited time, but successful coaches make time. They see the long-term possibility and they know they must achieve it, and they make the short-term sacrifices to make it happen. A common excuse I hear from people on my team is, I'm just going to wait until I finish this project at work and in a couple months, or then I feel like I'm picking up a little bit more. Or when the new year comes, I'll be good. Or when Johnny's done with soccer practice, I'll be good. Guys, get over it. There will never be a right time to change your life. Something else will always come up. And I can guarantee you that there will never be a right time to change your life, but the time is going to pass anyway. So you have a choice right now on this call to take you through the rest of this year. This is your first team call. Use it to drive you. There will never be a right time to change your life, but the time is going to pass anyway. So are you going to keep using it as a great reason why you can't have the life that you desire? Or are you going to do what successful people do, see it as an obstacle that you're going to make it through regardless of whatever it takes? You will need to make a sacrifice. I just want to call that out. This is not going to be easy. This is going to be hard. Can't say the H word. This is going to be hard, very hard. You are adding something onto your life. It will not just happen. So when making that decision, ask yourself one question right now. What if I told you that in 1 year from now, your life could be completely and totally enriched in such a positive way? Would you be willing to stay consistent, even though it's inconvenient, and have enough belief with purpose behind your back to keep pushing and faith in the unknown? Guys, opportunity is knocking on your door right now. An amazing opportunity that has changed the course of my entire life, Dana's entire life, Taryn's entire life, everyone's life. An amazing opportunity. And it's not encased in something appealing. It's not something convenient. It's not wrapped in something shiny, but your gut says, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to say yes. There's an opportunity here. And you have all these outside people telling you that this is a bad idea. All these negative voices in your head that you haven't beat yet with personal development. Your spouse telling you this is a dumb idea, but they're just trying to protect you. But only you understand the opportunity that's knocking on your door right now. And you can either step up or step down. A lot of people want the result. They want the shiny things. They want the amazing stuff in their life. But are they willing to earn the rewards and earn momentum? You know what? The thing about this is that what's not there every day when I get up or Dana gets up, the Facebook following's not there. Our team's not there when we wake up. It's my relationship, and I get this from Jimmy Nelson, and it's so true. It's my relationship with practice and consistency when nobody is watching that has gotten me to where I am now, okay? I get told all the time, Brad, you're a really good speaker. You guys think I started like this? No. I practiced and I practiced and I practiced and I stayed consistent and I volunteered on team calls. Apply that to your business. Practice and practice. Do an invite. View a no as practice. Every time you get a no, that is you practicing for the time that you get a yes. You don't know the hours that people put in. You see all these top coaches. You don't see their 5 a.m.s. You don't see their late nights. You don't see their hidden time. You see the glamour on social media. My question is, where are your hours? Where are your 5 a.m.s? Where are your sacrifices to be consistent? That same opportunity is knocking on your door. We have the greatest business in the world and the greatest products in the world. It does not happen when it's fun. It doesn't happen when you're at Summit or Super Saturday this weekend. It happens tomorrow morning and every other day when no one is looking. Okay? It happens when opportunity is knocking. You don't have to carry my schedule, but you do have to stand for something. Good enough in this business isn't good enough anymore, and you aren't minimum people, so stop doing the minimum that's asked. Don't do 3 invites a day because that's the minimum. Do 10. Don't do 20 minutes of personal development. Do an hour, okay? Don't do the minimum. Go above and beyond, because you know what? It's not about Dana. It's not about Liz. It's about you and your team. Don't give your family the minimum. Don't give your future the minimum. It's your turn to make this happen. We're doing it. I'm doing it. My team's doing it. Dana's team's doing it. It is your choice. And you know what? I believe that this business, success in this business, is nothing more than a choice. And you have to do it, like I said, when no one's watching. So say yes when you get the opportunity. Because when opportunity knocks, it's too late to prepare for it. It's not convenient. You're at the starting line of your entire year, and now we're all excited, and we're pumped up out of this call. But what are you going to do when things get hard? Are you going to keep pushing the boulder up the hill? Are you going to keep pumping the well? You feel motivated right now. Tomorrow morning, this isn't going to be here. I've heard so much of I need to, I want to. This isn't going to be here tomorrow. You haven't found your purpose enough yet. You haven't been consistent enough yet. I haven't been consistent enough yet. We haven't invited enough yet. You haven't changed the world enough yet. So when we leave here, set that standard, that high standard for yourself, and promise me as you leave this call, because tomorrow morning, when opportunity is knocking and it's no longer convenient, you have to ask yourself what you're going to do about it. So promise me when you leave this call that instead of shrinking your dreams to the size of your income, like most people do, you guys go out there and you build your income to the size of your dreams. I know you guys can. So Dana, turn it back over to you. I sped through that because we only have 10 minutes for my team call. So I hope that was helpful and you guys took some value away. But that's all I got.
You are absolutely incredible, as always. I took 2 pages of notes. I just have to say something that I've heard you speak many times, and it's always just as impactful. But this time, I never heard you say before about when you're not putting in the time in your business, it's giving your family the minimum, and that really hits home to me. Because I've made a lot of sacrifices and it's worth it. It really is 150%. I hope that you guys all took something extremely impactful that will make you get off this call and go take action. Before we end the call, thank you so much, Brad. I just want to make sure, does anybody have any questions for Brad? Or something that stuck out to you that you want to thank him because you really needed to hear it?
Mom! Quiet, Mom! Quiet, Mama!
I like that you were real. I love that. Thank you.
Quiet, Mom!
Thanks, Kristen. I appreciate that.
I have something to say.
Go for it.
There was a whole lot that you said there. I took a ton of notes. It was super great. But that last thing that you said, don't shrink your dream to the size of your income. Yeah, that was really huge for me. So thanks for throwing that in there at the end. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm glad it helps. Thanks, Brittany.
Come on, Mom!
You guys are awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. Thank you so much, Brad. I'm blown away every time I hear you talk. I hope you guys have a great night. I hope this is a start of a life-changing, purpose-filled 2016 for all of us. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, Dana. I appreciate your time.
Bye.